So I'm going to now put the suspension legs up through here, through the headlight holder, onto the top and tighten it up. But what we've got is these bolts obviously nip it up as it does it. So I'm just going to loosen them off a little bit, just so that it makes life a lot easier when I come to put in the suspension arm through, and I'm trying to do it without scratching the paintwork at all. So let's just that should do it. So I'm going to take the suspension arm that we built up earlier. I'm going to put the headlight holder on, and we're going to pass the suspension arm up through the leg. Now we've widened it, through the headlight holder onto the top, and then we'll nip it all up accordingly from there. So I've just got somebody to help me do the bits and pieces, and we'll do it one at a time. So here it comes. So would you like to put the other way around? Bring it down again. Let's try not to scratch the paint. There we are. Right, if you can hold it there. Going up. Going up. So it's passed through all right, and you can probably see the top of it on the top. So what I'll do now is to make sure that it's home. I can see that the threads are all nice and top. There's a washer, little chrome washer that goes on first, and then the big chrome nut, and then there's a little nut that goes on top of that. So let's get that on first. That way the leg won't fall off. That's alright so far. And then the little nut on top, it's covered in muck to hold it on. And that leg isn't going anywhere. It's nice and home. And so what we'll do then is we'll turn it over and we'll do the other side. So here we go then. We're going to do exactly the same, but on the other side this time round. So we'll take that up, and let's make sure we can get the leg through. It's going in all right. It's catching somewhere. Nope. So I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to have to open this up a little bit more because it's too tight. So if you hold it, try and get it off. Oh, look at that. Scratch the paint. Oh, dearie me. Right, well, we're just going to stop it for a moment while I open up that head yoke. Okay, so I've widened it a little bit more in relation to that, the gap. We're just going to bring it back. I put some grease on it to see if that will help push it up a little bit more. And it seems to be going. That seems to have done it. And there it is. You can see that the spring has got to where it should be, and that the nut is there. So take the nut. So, a bit of a disaster really. What when I've put the headlamp holder onto the front forks, when I put it together, there's a bit of a gap. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, whether the camera can pick it up properly or not, but between the top of this little rubber bung and the top of the yoke, there's a gap of about 10 mil. And it's the same obviously on the other side, just there. See if we can get closer and hold it. Just at the top there. And I'm not too sure why that's happened. You can see it a bit clearer there. It may be that when whoever I bought this bit off, because I got it off eBay to fit on the bike because the original disappeared years ago. This bit, whoever it is who sold me it, probably it might have had rusty top there and rusty down there, and they've chopped it off to fit, or maybe the wrong part in relation to making it fit in there. You know, maybe the original one had a different shape here because there's different versions, and maybe that these little rubber things, this tubing was different on the other one. That's the gap, the depth of the gap, that there's a problem. So a friend of mine in the village, Tim Ollett, he's made me a spacer block that just fits just there. So he's made it fit. Oh, it's wide enough to go around the legs and deep enough to just go under there to fill the void, so that it's got something to compress down without causing any problems. The only downside is I've got to take the top yoke off again and then bob it on, and it should be done. I've taken the top yoke off, and as you can see, the rubbers weren't sitting right. So what my intention is to use that as the spacer so that the top yoke goes on top and I can tighten up and it keeps everything nice and neat and tidy, which in principle seems like a good idea. However, when you come to this, to the top yoke, you can see that it's got a bit of a curve in there, which when you put the spacer bar on top so that you can look down on it, it won't go home because it needs to fit in there. So what I'm gonna have to do, whilst it fits there nicely, it won't go. Ooh, it won't go in because of that. So what I'm going to have to do is take off that distance there from the edge of this so that it fits in there. There's plenty of room for it still to be, because it's only a support bracket, and I'll have to do that there and I'll have to do it there. And when I've looked closely at the plate, you probably can't see it, but there's a little lug there and a little lug there, and I bet you somewhere along the line there is supposed to be a spacer bar like this, but I haven't got one. I've got this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to mark it and then see if I can grind off with the Dremel around that edge so that it fits into there and below there, nice and flush. Well, that's what I'm going to try and do. So see you in a bit. So I need to measure the distance. I need a pen, a Sharpie. So I'm just looking down by eye of sight to find out where does that end start, just from there and likewise there, so that I can make it fit. and I'm just looking to make sure that that's how it would be. And I'm writing no on there not to grind it, but I need to know how thick that distance is that I've got to wear off. So I'll get some calipers out and have a look and see what it is. These are really ace, these. I don't know if you can see what they are. I got them off a well-known auction site, little digital ones. And rather than guess how thick something is, it gives you a readout in relation to it. They really are quite good. So I just need to measure that distance there. Ah, 3.5 millimeters off the edge. How far does that down? Right, so I need a scriber. I'm getting a sharp scriber now because it has to be something with a really sharp point, and that should do. Yeah. So I need to measure along there 3.5 mil, and we'll just see where it goes. So that's that 3.5 mil. So what is actually the width? Huh. It's just about halfway. Yeah, give or take a less than 0.5 millimeter. Plenty of room there. So, in essence then, what I need to do is I need to grind off. I'm just marking it with the finger. Probably can't pick it up, it's too fine in relation to things from there. So I need to cut down half can't see it, but I've got a little line there that I need to cut down, so I need to shave down that much. I suppose I could take it back to my mate and ask him to machine it down, but I'll have a go at doing it and see how I get. So I'll pause for the moment while I just go and get things sorted.